Hi everyone, welcome to Lelo Yoga and Wellness. I'm Laura, and today's session is going to be all about prenatal yoga. Now, it's been a minute since that really applied to me personally, but I did recently get the opportunity to lead a prenatal yoga class, and I just loved it and thought I would want to share that with those of you that are really interested in continuing your yoga practice throughout your pregnancy. This practice is safe for all trimesters. Just make sure that you modify or opt out of anything that feels uncomfortable for you. Let's get started. Let's start our practice here at the top of our mat. And I want you to first and foremost really focus on right where those feet are touching the ground, your main grounding points, the base of your big toe, pinky toe, and your heel. And just feel that ground underneath there. Start to feel how you're feeling in your body today. It changes every day when you're pregnant, right? So whether you're in the first trimester or nearing the finish line, your body's going to feel a little bit different. So let's just take a second to kind of check in with the body, see how it's feeling. We're not trying to change it, we're just acknowledging what is. If it feels okay, you can start to bring those hands down into a mountain pose. Find a little bit of a squeeze here through the glutes. Gently tuck the hips under so we lift that belly up just a bit and unload our lower back. You might want to take your feet just a little bit further apart if that feels more comfortable for your hips. We're not really trying to change how our body feels. We're just letting ourselves pay attention to it for a moment. If you want to challenge your balance, you can close your eyes. But if you don't want to do that, you can keep the eyes open and just take a soft gaze on one spot in your surroundings. As you're focusing on how your body's feeling, send a little note of thanks to your body for everything it's doing for you right now. It's a big job to grow a human being, so make sure you tell your body, I know you're hurting, I know maybe you're a little tired, but it's all going to be worth it. And we take just a moment to check in with the mind, see how we're feeling. Thoughts might be all over the place. Again, we're just letting those thoughts happen. We don't have to follow the thoughts. We don't have to believe all the thoughts. We don't have to try to change those thoughts. We're just noticing our state of mind right now. And we start to find our breath. First, just following that easy ebb and flow. It just happens. It has since the day you were born and will as soon as your baby is born. And keep them company throughout their life. We start to slow the breath down just a little bit. Making sure we're extending through that inhale as much as you feel comfortable doing, and allowing that exhale to mirror or even extend beyond the inhale. See how it's feeling in your body. And start connecting your mind, your body, and your breath together. Let's take a little movement with that breath. As we breathe in, take a big reach out and up. And then exhale, allow those hands to come back down. Let's do it again. Add a little more movement, bending at the knees. Inhale and reach. Exhale. Let's go one more time, just a bit deeper. Inhale and reach. Exhale. Take your left foot and just step behind the right. Find the right foot placement for you. This might vary a little bit based on how you're feeling today. And we're going to bring those hands together in an arrow mudra, lacing The last 3 fingers, bring your pointer and your thumb together. Let's take that deep breath up, and this time we're just going to exhale out in the direction of that back foot. Find a little bit of space along the ribs. See if you can hold that space as you breathe through it. Inhale, reach those hands high. Step the feet together. Exhale and release. Let's step back on the other side. Again, find the right foot placement for you. Arrow mudra. Inhale, reach up. And bend gently to the side. Again, see if we can lift the ribs up just a bit. And find that space down the right side of the body. Take one more breath here. Exhale and return to the center. Give your shoulders a nice big roll. Wiggle out those fingers a little bit. Inhale, lifting up on your left leg. Before you pull that left foot off the floor, I want you to make sure you feel really grounded right at the base of that big toe, pinky toe and heel. And we're going to bring the knee up as close to hip level as possible, maybe reaching around to give it a little bit of support. You could also use a towel here or a strap around the front of the shin to give yourself a little bit of help. Rotate through the foot, both directions. And then let's turn that leg out to the side. If you're a regular yoga practitioner, you might find your mobility is a little bit different right now, and that's okay. Just go with it. Let's bring that knee back to center and set the foot down. Let's do that on the other side. First, shifting the weight to the left foot, finding those grounding points, and then lifting up the right knee, maybe circling it with our hands or with a towel or a strap, and finding a little rotation through the ankles, both ways. Keep some softness at the knee joint in your standing leg. Give it a little bit of love there. And then we start to open up to the side with that right knee. Find one point to look at to help you with your balance. Let's bring the knee back and set the foot down. Let's take a nice big deep breath up together. Exhale, bring your fingers together, maybe lacing the fingers, rounding the spine, scooping the hips under. You may not see the scoop if that belly is getting kind of big, but you can feel it through the back. Inhale, release, lift the gaze, push the belly forward, a little squeeze in the glutes. Nice. Exhale, rounding that spine one more time, scooping through the hips. Inhale, lifting that gaze, pushing the belly forward. And we just return to our mountain pose. Shake it out a little bit. If you're feeling a little bit tight, loosen up. Let's take a big reach up. Exhale, reach your right hand forward and your left hand back. How much twist you're going to get here is going to be maybe a little bit variable. That's okay. You can always bring your hands here to the heart center to give yourself a little break in the shoulders. We're working the hips toward front, but we're not really twisting so much across the belly as we are through the shoulders. Inhale, sweep that left hand down, pick up the right hand, look toward the sky, cactus the arms. Find that little scoop in your hips. Inhale and reach. Exhale, find your standing twist on the other side, looking over the right fingertips, pressing that belly forward. Inhale, sweeping the right hand down, facing the front, picking up that left hand.
Opening up through the heart. Inhale and reach, and bring the hands back to your heart center. Take a breath here. Let's shift our weight over into that right foot. We're going to return to our standing staff. Find your grounding points. One breath in and out right here. And release that left knee and take a big step back. I want to make sure that the back heel stays off the ground here. We're going to scoop the hips under and reach the hands high to come into a crescent lunge. Focus on the opening here at the front of your hip. Turn those pinkies in just a little bit to help drive your shoulder blades down a bit. And lift that belly up as high as you can. Inhale, take a big reach through the fingertips. Exhale, pivot your back foot. Reach the hands out long, right at the shoulder line. We're lining up our front heel to our back arch. I want to bring the hips and the shoulders here to the center. Adjust your stride and your hips based on what feels good for your body right now. Front knee is bent. We're just letting that knee drop toward the pinky toe. This is about opening up your hips, something that we all need, even when we're not pregnant. It's also about one hand in the past, but looking forward to the future. So we take everything we know and love about our past and bring all those amazing things forward into our new future. Straightening out the front leg now. Reach the fingertips forward, drop the right hand down, either resting on the thigh, the shin, perhaps the floor, depending if that's accessible to you or not. We want to open up as much as we can here through the top shoulder for our triangle pose. Gaze might be up toward the fingers, maybe straight ahead, maybe down to the foot. Keep a little softness in your right knee right now. Inhale, start to engage all the way down the side of the body. Reach the hands high, coming to the long edge of your mat, 5-pointed star. Take a nice deep breath, reach through those fingertips. Exhale, coming down into a goddess squat. So we want to take these knees out as wide as we can, scoop under through the hips, adjust your height depending on where you want to be right now. And we're just going to focus on turning the moon. So imagine you've got a big moon here. You just want to turn that moon and then turn it right back. It's a gentle way to start working into your obliques, taking your rib cage toward your hips, getting some strength here in the core. Super important to maintain your core strength right now. Just because you can't do crunches doesn't mean you can't hit that core. Let's do a couple more. And come back to your goddess squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Pivot your back foot until it's parallel to the front edge of your mat and your left foot toward the top of your mat, and find that triangle pose once again. Let's open up through the shoulder, take the gaze up high, looking toward the top fingertips, if that's okay for your neck, or taking the gaze where it feels more comfortable. Nice breath in and out. Inhale, bend your left knee, level out the arms, finding your warrior two. Looking out over those fingertips again. Settle into it and let the knee drop out just a little bit towards the left pinky toe. Take one more big breath here. Inhale, pick up the back heel, sweep those arms up high, find your crescent lunge. Sitting into it as deep as you feel comfortable with. Don't forget that little scoop forward through the hip to help protect our low back. Big breath in. Now taking either a half step forward or stepping all the way to the top of the mat, release the arms, find your mountain pose. Take a breath here. Check in with the body. Check in with the mind. Check in with the breath. Shifting your weight to the left leg, inhale, lift up through the right, find that standing staff with or without support. Maybe you're fine right here. Maybe you want to give your leg a little bit of help. That's okay. Take it where you want to go. And let's send that right leg straight back to come into our crescent lunge. Once again, back heel up, hip scoops under, hands reach high. Shoulder blades dropping down toward the hips. You reach, reach, reach through those fingertips. Find your breath. Let's take one more big inhale. Exhale into your warrior two, turning that back foot so it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Heel aligns with arch. Play with that foot placement again. See how it feels on your hips. Lift the chest. It's a little bit of a twist here. If it's feeling like it's more than you want for your body right now, just take a little bit shorter stance. Give yourself some more space. Inhale, straighten out the front leg. Exhale, reach forward and drop down into your triangle pose. Again, you might be here at your thigh, maybe you're at your shin, maybe you're all the way to the floor or for a block, and we want to open up through the right shoulder. It all depends on how much space you've got going on right here between the rib and the hip on the left. Find your breath. A little softness in that left knee joint. Let's engage the core and start to lift up. Toes out, heels in, facing the long edge of your mat, 5-pointed star. Nice big reach up through those fingertips, and then we exhale down into our goddess squat. Open the hips as much as you can here, and we start to turn that moon. Reach it around, reaching it back. Notice the head stays upright. This is about feeling those ribs kind of tap down toward the hip. Making that turn as big as you can. Keeping the core strong. Big focus on your obliques. That's the sides of the core, kind of like the sides of a ladder. It's what holds it all together. Let's do a couple more turns. And return to your goddess squat. Inhale, reach up for that 5-pointed star. Exhale, turning your back foot parallel, front foot toward the top of the mat, coming down into a triangle pose. Open up through that top hip. Gaze where you want it to go. Working with your breath. One more breath here. Exhale, bend your front knee, returning to warrior two. Take that gaze out over into your future. Inhale, sweeping down with the back hand, pivoting in the back foot. Find your crescent lunge. Sink into your hip just a little bit more. Bend that back knee, push off. You might want to take a half step in, that's okay. Let's bring the feet side by side. Exhale, come into your mountain pose. Shake it out. Feel a little tight. Keep those joints loose. We just want to find a little bit of space here between our feet. So bring them down just about hip width apart, maybe a bit wider to make sure we have accommodation for the belly if it's getting out there. And sit back into your heels, reach the hands high, chair pose. Look down, make sure you can see your toes right now. You might have to look over to the side. We're just trying to make sure that the knees aren't pushing past the toes. That's what you're checking for. So if you need to come up a little higher or shift your weight back a little bit, you can do that. Inhale, reach through those fingers. Exhale, sweep the hands down and come up on the toes. See if you can lift those heels up. Arms come higher than your back. Inhale, set the heels down, reach the hands high. Exhale, balancing chair. Once again, lift the heels. One more time. Inhale up to chair. Exhale to balancing chair. Inhale up to chair. Exhale, mountain pose. Let's take the feet even a little bit wider. So we might be all the way off the mat or maybe a little bit on. Heels are on, toes are off, depends how long your legs are. Let's take a nice deep breath up. Exhale, bend the knees. We're gonna rest our forearms right here on top of the thighs. We're moving into Malasana, and you might feel better here, or maybe you feel okay coming all the way down. Just see how your knees are feeling, how your balance is feeling, how much space you might need for that belly. But we wanna think about getting these hips a little bit wider. You could be sitting on a block or a bolster. It's a great way to help you practice in this position with the support that you need. We can have the hands here at the elbows, or maybe we put the palms together to push those knees just a little bit wider. Super important to maintain that hip flexibility right now. Just take a couple of breaths here. Let's take our fingertips toward the floor. Bringing the hands or elbows back on top of the thighs if we were all the way down in Malasana. And straighten out the feet. Start to roll up part way and then take a big step back on the right foot, dropping down to the right knee and then the left knee. Knees are right underneath the hips here. Let's take a deep breath up. Exhale, bringing our hands to the top of our backside. Fingers are pointed down. We're going to squeeze in through the shoulder blades, lift the gaze, gentle press through the hips, and just find a little bit of a stretch all the way across the front of that belly. One more breath in this camel pose. You could be reaching toward the tops of your heels if you feel like you've got that flexibility right now. Go for it. And on your next exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. We want to keep the fingers spread nice and wide so you can see the mat between your fingers. Bring your knees directly under your hips and really lengthen out through the body. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine. Come back to table. Just a little bit more core work here. Let's reach out through the left leg. Bring it up as close to hip level as you possibly can. Your foot remains flexed. Take a deep breath and really push through that heel while we keep length at the neck. Exhale, tap the toes behind your right leg. Maybe looking over your shoulder to see if you can see the toes. Inhale and lift. 2 more times. Exhale, tap down. Inhale and lift. 1 more time. Drop that knee right underneath your hip. Let's take it to the other side. Extending out through your right leg. Find that deep breath and really lengthen out across the neck, pushing through the heel. Exhale, tap down, look over the left shoulder, see if you can see those right toes. Inhale and lift. Exhale. Inhale and lift. Let's go 1 more time. And return to your tabletop position. Sit back a little bit, take your hands to the right, swing your legs to the left. We're going to take our right ankle and just let it sit on top of the left knee. Bring your hands behind you. You see which feels best. Probably fingertips out. Lean back a little bit, set that left heel on the ground, and then scoot the butt as close as you feel comfortable with. to come into a figure 4 stretch. Stay as tall as you can. Depending on how much space you need for that belly, maybe you're further out here. Find what works for you. Getting a nice stretch through the glutes. And now remove that leg. Take both legs out in front of you. Big deep breath. Exhale, reaching toward the feet. How deeply you can move depends on you, but let's keep the spine nice and long no matter what. So it may not be the deepest stretch ever because we want to maintain that tall chest. And then just let yourself relax. Now we take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee, and start to bring that right foot up. Maybe walk the butt a little closer. Maybe you're maintaining more length in the right leg. Just find the space for you. Let's lift up through the chest. Take one more breath. Slide that left ankle down. We're going to bring our feet together and come into a bound angle pose. So hands on top of the legs, knees out to the side. You can always use blocks here if you want a little extra support underneath your knees. So make sure you're accommodating whatever it is that you need to feel support here. Grab a hold of the front of the leg, sit up a little bit taller. Open up through that chest. If it feels good, you can let the eyes softly close. That's up to you. 2 more long, deep breaths right here. And as we start to move into Shavasana, move into any position that feels comfortable for you right now. It might mean that you remain seated. Maybe it's lying on your side. We don't want to put pressure onto our backs by lying on our back, especially if you're a little further along in the pregnancy. So you find the position that feels really good for you right now. And let's just do a quick scan of the body, letting the crown of the head begin to soften, right down through the forehead, all those muscles around the eyes and in the jaw. Let it soften. We let the shoulders relax, all the way down the arms to the fingertips. Feel the heart rate starting to slow down a little bit and become more relaxed, calm, peaceful. Start to bring that softness into your hips, right down to your knees, all the way through the ankles into the toes. Every time you breathe in, just imagine yourself sending a little love to that baby. Even if you've had some babies out there in the world, send a little love out there to your babies or future babies. As you exhale, feel that love from your baby coming back to you. If you have the time for it, I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you can. When you feel ready, you can make your way to a seated position and begin to relax your neck, just gently taking the ears to the shoulders, each side, dropping the chin to the chest. And slowly bringing those eyes awake, taking one final deep breath out and up together. Exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. May you have peace in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and hope in your hearts. From my heart to yours, namaste. I hope you enjoyed today's prenatal yoga session. If you did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, so I can continue to bring fun classes like this to you.